Hey there guys, we're going to start with the test overview for the SAT reading section. Now, there are three components to the SAT reading. There's, of course, the passage itself, the question, and the answer choices. Fairly trivial, but the key to acing the SAT reading section is learning how to connect these three components together. Okay? Now, to connect them, you really need to understand each of these components very well. So let's start with the passage types. There are three types of passages: narrative, expository, and two passage analysis sections. The key to this is you have to learn how to read each type of passage effectively so that you can break down the logic, see how the ideas connect, find the main idea. Next, there are the types of questions. There are four types of questions: macro, micro, data, and language. Macro questions are things like main idea and logical structure. Micro questions are really about specific points, specific sentences, and what does this detail say? The data questions are based on the graphs and tables, and you need to know how to interpret that data and connect it to the passage. And finally, you have the language questions, which are the vocabulary and context and the rhetoric. Once you know what each of these types of questions are, you can learn what to look for in the passage. You know what you're looking for. You're not just reading blindly. Finally, we're going to look at the four different types of answers: direct details, implied ideas, vague viewpoints, and analogies and assumptions. Each of these really changes the way you need to think about the answer choices. Okay, direct details are really just exactly the same point being made in the passage. Implied ideas, rather than being exactly the same, really describe the points. For example, if I said, a dog is chewing on a bone and wagging his tail, you might describe that dog as satisfied or happy. But of course, the passage never said he was happy. Vague viewpoints are broad answer choices. For example, this paragraph describes a phenomenon. What's a phenomenon? What's a description? And analogies and assumptions are a little bit specific. They're very specific points, but we'll get to that. There aren't many which are like this, so it's just a kind of a bonus section, if you will. All right. So when you know the four answer types, you're going to learn how to select the right answer. So to recap, your strategy: understand each of the components in the reading test, the passages, the questions, the answers. Secondly, learn how to connect the three components to select the correct answer every single time. So, how are we going to achieve those points? Well, we're going to follow the syllabus. Now, some of you may be looking at this going, why is the answer selection first? And let me tell you, the answer selection, normally you would think that would come last, right? Passage, question, answer. That makes sense. But the answers are really the lowest hanging fruit. Like, if you can just learn how to read the answer choices and select the best one, you're going to get at least a 50-point improvement. So I want to do that first. So, even if you don't finish the entire course, you can at least learn how to pick the right answer and get a boost right away, okay? Also because, if we don't address it now, as we go through the other sections, you're going to keep seeing the answer choices. And, if we don't discuss the 800-pound gorilla in the room, it's going to be a little bit hard to explain how to pick the right answer. So that's why we're doing the answer selection first, and then we'll circle back and do the reading skills and the questions, okay? So I hope you're pumped up. It's not going to take that long to learn these skills, but remember, you are going to want to practice after you learn these skills. Make sure you do download those practice tests from the College Board website.